Hi everybody. So I got some people were complaining, especially my ex-girlfriend in Holland. Loves to complain. What can I say? She said, "Well, just watching me time to time, she and her husband, what I'm doing here." And she goes, "Yeah, but you should get a better camera. You deserve that." I said, "Really? I deserve it?" And she goes, "Yeah, I like what you're doing. You're trying to do something so okay, but your camera, it's terrible." It's like that. Okay, my lord. My lord girlfriend, who I shouldn't mention her name, but I get it, babe. Okay, it's all cool. So anyway, and then I asked my current girlfriend, haha, and so those are with these things, one here, one there, one everywhere. Girlfriend, Europe, America, Southeast Asia. No, I've never been there. Well, Taiwan doesn't count. But anyway, and that was with the one from Holland. But just the same, what I'm trying to say is anything about those people in particular, but it's about a simple switch. I just turned the other camera around. Instead of using the selfie camera, I used I'm using the normal camera. It's got that flash pointing right in my eye, but whatever. Anyway, and then my current girlfriend, like that, but Rosalia, she got me a camera, another bigger phone. It has two cameras or three cameras in it, and that's gonna be something to figure out. But in the future, I hope I have better looking videos. That's the goal. And I thank everybody for putting up with these kind of sloppy things. Like I have an old shirt on. I haven't bothered to change. So I'm going to go out and take care of the animals in a few minutes. I mean, I could have thought, well, I'll put on a shirt that looked good like Dirty Pat. Funny is that name Dirty Pat, but he looks so cool when he does his shows. And I, on the other hand, sort of like Jon Beckley Morris, and sort of be kind of, more together. But I, on the other hand, look like a slob. But I would change that appearance a little bit, not too much, but some. But Pat looks, he always looks so cool, quite daft, not daft, quite, what's the word? Not daft, but Gary, he looks, he looks pretty cool. That's what I'll say. Pat's a good player, and God, he can play so much stuff, and he just got so much soul and so much. I mean, when you see Dirty Pat in a show, I would imagine I've never been lucky enough to do that, but just a little bit I've seen. It's like you're really looking at the real deal. I mean, Dirty Pat Walsh is a guy to pay attention to, and he's still young and he's got years ahead of him to play, and shall be grateful for that. And I'm not just there's a lot of people I've seen. I'm 68 years old. I've seen a lot of people play and these solos and duo things, and he just has a way of. It's because he's real. Pat Walsh is just real, and he's not the greatest anybody. He's not the greatest harmonica player, guitar player, juice harp player, mandolin player, banjo player, guitar player, slide guitar player. Get what I'm saying? He can do all that stuff. He doesn't need to be great. He just bees Pat, and that's a good example for all of us. And then he comes up with a crazy microphone from this guy named Bone Daddy to set up, and it's like there's a different side of Pat. When he's blowing into his little setup for probably I guess a street. It'd be a good street mic for sure. And you could ask him about that Bone Daddy microphone. But meanwhile, he turned me on these E-stops, and I wasn't sure, exactly, probably because I forgot. He told me one that sounded more like a marine band than maybe another's, and but Rosalie was helping me with those, and so we decided to get these 008 uh, Ks and just check them out because for the price of a whole case of 12 of them, and that's what two marine bands would have cost. And now I found out that when I go get the marine bands, I'll get the marine band deluxe. Supposedly has a better seal to help with which I get a lot of spin in my harps. But anyway, so I had still having problems with too much saliva in my mouth on the C harmonica. I was just trying to break it in, but then I picked up finally a couple other harps out of this case, and I realized, God, they sound really pretty good. I mean, people have complained about the shriller sound, or something like that. But and that's true. They have you know, maybe more of a brassier sound. I think that's how Pat describes it. Uh, but if you can take a harmonica, and no matter what tune makes it, and you can put it in your hands and just kind of, you know, literally warm it up in your hands, twist it around, hold it in your hand, and then mainly, play the thing and play it. It gets warmer. Is all I'm saying. And there are some harmonicas that are just terrible for certain things. Just the cheap ones for straight up beginners that aren't going to be bending notes or whatever, or just places that try to uh, get people to buy them even if they're no good. But anyway, the East Tops are good harmonicas. I don't know how far back they are when to be not considered good, but they got a lot of harmonicas on the market right now. And so I picked up C again, and I was trying to do this thing with a long, like, see there, it gets clogged right away. That has to do with my head, partly my bad problems with my back, and I've got to work on a lot of posture changing and bringing it back. So if I go, that's really hard for me to put my back up like that, but I just got to start doing it. Because if I go down like this, even just a little bit, well, I was trying to get it to clog. Of course, it wouldn't when I was trying to do the demo. But anyway, I like these harps. They're inexpensive. Like I said, the price of 200 marine bands to buy a whole case of 12. So anyway, so I'll just try the C and the B and just pop around on it for a minute and see what y'all think of it. This is the C, and it might be crossed, might be straight, might be third position, and I'm just going to mess with it for a minute. And I'll try to remember to put my head back, because I did hear it clog a little bit. See a cloud down there. That was in a fifth position, messing with a starting on the 2 low. But see, I forgot and it got clogged. But there's a lot of spin here, so I really gotta work on. Now they're heavier than the marine bands. They're definitely heavier, but they still feel good in my mouth. So the more I play them, the more I'm impressed. Let's try that luck. Well, I hate to say it, but I've got to leave this place. I hate to say it, but I've got to leave this place. Well, the Feds in Texas, they are after me. Well, I hate to say it, but I'm sure someone. Well, I hate to say it, but the Texas Rangers are after me. And I'll tell you the truth, it was murder in the first degree. Enough of that. Messed that one up pretty bad, but anyway, that's the idea. The piano is and the harmonica, if I get it right, it's the one, that one, the 5, and the 4, back to the 1, the 4 twice, back to the 1, back to the 5 once, and then turn around. But it's a 3, 4, like 1, like. So count like that, 1, 2, 3. Well, I hate to say it, but I've got to leave this place. I hate to say it, but I've got to leave this place. I shot a man in Texas, and it was not a mistake. Well, the Texas Rangers and the Feds are after me. Oh, the Texas Rangers and the Feds are after me. And I got to tell you, I got to run away from here. Something like that. Anyway, so that was the C harmonica. Messing around with, just for fun. Let's try the B. So the idea of this case harps is it gives me a chance to play with keys alone. I guess it's guitar players. I don't really I don't really, or now with tapes, I guess I could play anything I want. I forgot there's these backing tapes for everybody these days. But I was used to living in places where there really were guitar players, live ones, and we just sit around and play, but not so much the weird keys, but so I can practice with some of the stranger keys, like the D flat kind of things and stuff that people like to play and like to mess around with when they're just playing harmonica. But it's just you can put a capo on a guitar pretty easy. Although I never use them. Most people do, I think, but for some reason I just never really got into playing with capos. And I don't do the rack stuff either. A lot of harmonica players play with harmonica players play with a rack, but I don't. I'm going to try to do that, get into that more. But anyway, I'm impressed with these harmonicas. Again, the cost is very little, but if I was gigging normally, I would probably use these for a second, spare pair, and they have the Hohner, the one above the Hohner Marine Band. So I just can't think of the name. Anyway, the one that's better, Deluxe, Hohner Deluxe, is what it is. Alright, so this is the B harmonica in 008K East Top. It's hardly ever been played, so the other one has been played more. Let's see. Oh, also, if you break one, okay, $20 is $20. That's about what it costs here in the States. $21 or something, maybe. And maybe it's a little bit of a discount, but say you have to spend $25 to replace it. Well, that ain't gonna kill most people if you. So you can get out of it, if you can get what you can get out of it, and don't worry about, if it gets jammed up or if it gets this or whatever. Just play it. It's a good idea to warm them up a little bit slow, which I'm really not doing, but kind of. I'll tell you one thing. On the third draw, I've had trouble with the C third note draw. And this B is really simple, but although the C now is warmed up enough to where and by the way, it's cool to practice that coming back from the bottom up to the single note that you draw. That's just the normal note in there. So when you draw on the bottom notes, we tend to go drawing and making the bends like on the second note. And it's good to practice with a tuner to try to get it right, which I never bother to do, but I should. And then the third whole draw. Well, it's definitely much easier than it was a while ago. So it just depends on the harp. Maybe it's easier, right? Maybe it's not. But coming back from what I was trying to say is that we normally go from the top to the bottom, like. We should try more from the bottom to the top. Jason Ritchie had a video out about that. How Rick Estrom was saying, you just got to get ugly with it. You got to go from the bottom to the top and bring them up some. I made a video myself speaking about this, but because that's really hard to get that, at least for me, when I do the third position sound, and I've got to get the 5 flat before I can get to the 5. I'm supposed to anyway, in that scale. So you can hit the in this case, like the third 3 blow or the 2 draw, and that gives you your 4 on that. But then when you got to go down to the 5, or you get the 5 flat, so you have to bring that note down on the bottom to all the way on the third band from the beginning. So you go, and then you bring it up half step to the 5, and then you go blow the 4 and draw the 4 for your 1, and your flat is 7 and your 1. So it's like. So it's hard to practice that. It's a good idea to practice going from the bottom up. Just anywhere you can combination. Well, that's what I practice. It made me think of these post-war blues players or pre-war blues players that, like these Ford Bailey, where they were sitting around playing all these notes, these bent notes from things that they could hear out in the air, you know, in the pastures where they were, and the woods where they ran. They could hear that stuff. But anyway, just dropped this thing. Sorry. So I'll just wrap it. And just saying that hearing that sound from bringing it the bottom up to the top. It's a little bit different than instead of going. Instead of. It's like, instead of going, you go. That's the fourth band. And bring it to the normal. Instead of going, you go. Instead of. Anyway, just something to practice more from the top to bringing it up to the, from the, like an A flat to an A to a B flat to a B. That's that deep Ford Bailey kind of sounding in there. Anyway, just a little something cool with that sound. Okay, I know that I'm getting tired of myself, but I'll just imagine you guys, if I'm tired of myself, imagine you all are really tired of me, but just a couple more minutes with this. This is the B again. But I'm glad that I like that C, East top. I mean, I wasn't sure. It seemed like it was kind of stiff, but now, having just played the B for a few minutes, and warmed it up a little bit, let's see, what it sounds like. I'm playing in cross harp here now. Well, I don't know what else to do. See, it's getting clogged because I'm got that curvy posture. I'm leaning down. Kermit told me about this at first. He said it looked like I was playing into a horse's neck. Now I'd never heard it described to me like that before, but it made sense. You know, take a poor horse without its head, well, with its head, but without the rest of it, and you're playing a harmonica. And who wants to do that, playing into a horse's neck? So that was a good image to try to keep me from doing that by keeping my posture back. And you're on stage and you got the mic and stuff, and you're going like that, and that you kind of get into that, you know, because you're deep into the song and the solo, and you're playing cool, and the band's hopefully kicking behind you, and you're doing fine. But then you get the notes clogged up, and you don't feel so good about it. So it's like it's good to. Oh, the flashes went off. I hope y'all can still see me. Did the whole thing go off now? I gotta check and see. Well, it says it's still filming. But anyway, I'll wrap this up. Okay, if this thing is still on, thank you very much. If it's not still on, thank you very much. Have a fine evening.